We're pleased today to have Cub Scout Pack 197 from Low Church lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And at this time, I want to ask them to come forward. Cub Master Mike Holder, Jack Simon, and a whole bunch of assistant Cub Masters, I think, are gonna help us. Come on up, folks. Well, why don't can you line up right here and face that way? Face the flag. Flag's up there. Okay. All right. Who's going to lead? Are you going to lead? Okay. Tell us your name, please.
My name is Reed.
Reed, you a little bit nervous? Don't be nervous. All these folks are here to support you. All right. I'll tell you something else. We all know the words. So all you got to do is get us started. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Please stand.
Good morning. Please remove your hats and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks.
Thank you, Reed. Before you sit down, would you all turn around? And I want each of you to tell all these good people your name, okay? You already met Reed.
Brantley, Emma, Katie, Ben, Andrew.
Thank you all. Thank you all. You're going to hear more about these folks later in the meeting. Our usual housekeeping things. Frank.
I confirm that a quorum of members exists and remains because of the members present and by proxy. Further, I confirm proper notice was sent to all members of record.
Thank you, Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your meeting. I will entertain a motion from the floor to approve the agenda. Do I hear a motion? I've heard a motion. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. Is there any member here who has not voted in the board election who wants to vote in the board election? If so, please raise your hand now. All right. If you folks want to vote, would you go out right now and one of the election committee members will meet you and help you to vote? Frank, would you check the hallway and just also make that announcement? To give it to our annual report. Wait until I get it. I'm just waiting for our secretary to come back in. So. Good. All right. Frank, if I could ask you to have a member of the elections committee accompany those folks, and upon receipt of their votes, I declare the voting closed for the Board of Elections. Welcome to the 54th annual meeting of the membership for Lake of the Woods Association. You see the board of directors sitting here but please remember, this is a meeting of the members and not a board meeting. Before I begin recognitions, please know that the comments and questions for this meeting are by comment card only. They look like this. You can get a card at the back of the room or by raising your hand, and one of the folks who are assisting us at this meeting will bring you a comment card. You can write your comments and turn it in. Those cards will be collected and will be answered by the general manager and myself further along in the program under agenda item number 8. This time I'd like to ask the president of the Low Fire and Rescue Company to come forward to receive the annual donation from the Lake of the Woods Association. President Tom Cornell and Chief Mike Cianci. Glad you gentlemen could join us this morning. On behalf of all the members here, I want to present this check to you in the amount of $46,000 to support the work of your department. The volunteers and the members here just do a fantastic job, and we're reminded, unfortunately, almost weekly, what a great service and what a great benefit that you all provide. And we're very grateful, and it's incumbent on us to help provide the resources you need and support you in your work. Say a few words.
Thank you very much to the board, the members. Without the board or members like you, we wouldn't even exist. We are a totally volunteer organization. We survive on your donations and donations from the board and people like you. So without you, we would not be here. So thank you so much.
All right. This represents only a portion of the funds they need every year to operate. So when campaign time comes around, please give generously to our department. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to ask any past presidents of our association board to stand and be recognized, and please remain standing. Quite a few. Thank you for all. Regardless of what position you hold or have held on this board, it is a lot of work and a lot of time. And at this time, I would like to ask any past member of this board of directors to stand and be recognized. If you served at any time in any capacity, stand up. I know there's a bunch of you out there. Please stand up and be recognized. Thank you all for your service. At this time, I'd like to have the committee chairs stand and be recognized, all the committee chairs of our current committees. You all are rocks, and we couldn't do the job that we do without the tremendous support and expertise that every committee brings to the work that goes on behalf of your association. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Getting my papers in order. This time, I'd just like to make a few brief remarks as the outgoing president. Today marks the conclusion of the 2023-2024 term for your board of directors. It was a year of challenges for Low, and we've worked very hard on your behalf to accomplish a lot of things. At the last regular meeting of the board last Thursday, our recording secretary, Linda Brooks, made the unsolicited comment that this has been the hardest working board she has served in the 20 years that she has been the recorder for the board. I don't know if that's really true or not, but I can assure you It certainly wasn't a board goal when we took office last September. Your association did a lot of hard things this year, none of which could have been accomplished without the services of a professional management team and dedicated LOA staff, hardworking committees, generous volunteer members, and a largely understanding and patient community. I'll briefly summarize some of those things because we have a lot yet to do this morning. We made the health of our lakes the #1 board priority. We made substantial revisions to the harmful algae bloom protocols, funded sediment testing in addition to water testing, revised the dredging schedule and process, and are exploring new treatment strategies. The redesign and opening of the 10th fairway provides a retention pond that resolved significant water issues on the golf course and the surrounding community and reduced sediment and nutrients flowing to Keaton's Lake. Last week, the board awarded a contract for the Patrick Henry Court Drainage Improvement Project, which will reduce flooding and runoff to the main lake from a very large area. This was the culmination of several years' work in design, easement acquisition, and permitting, and is a significant accomplishment by our LOA staff. Another goal was to bring to fruition the 10+ years of engineering studies, analysis, and design options for our entrances to Low. Our main gate working group has spent 2 years looking at every reasonable possibility and recommended a cost-effective design plan. Last week, the board approved a contract to construct those improvements to our main gate entrance that'll speed access to Low and relieve congestion on Route 3. Yet another goal was to act on long-standing issues of concern to our members about rising assessments, short-term rental properties, and difficulties in addressing chronic property violations that impacted the neighborhood. That led to the referendum for you, the members, to decide the paths forward on these issues. The board spent hundreds of hours working to refine the solutions, inform the members, and turn out the vote. Earlier this morning, the membership voted to close the voting on the referendum questions and adjourn the special meeting, which ended the referendum. None of the referendum questions achieved the necessary 2,132 yes votes to pass, so there will be no changes to the restrictive covenants at this time. Our members have spoken and have made choices that will inform and guide future boards. Low's future is tied to the future of the Route 3 corridor and Eastern Orange County. That became crystal clear with the Wilderness Crossing development application and the RSA water sewage issues of the last 12 months. One of our board goals was to improve our external engagement on issues beyond our gates. I'm proud to report that thanks to the hard work of the members of our External Affairs Committee, with the support of their board liaison, Frank DePasquale, we have the most engaged and effective External Affairs Committee that I've seen during my time here. Along the way, we've had to deal with some surprises. A change in the safety standards for playgrounds meant that we needed to rebuild the surfaces on all of our playgrounds, and we took the opportunity to replace some aging equipment and redesign some layouts. We discovered a mold issue at the fitness center and took steps to restore use of the center as quickly as possible, while simultaneously beginning a complex process to understand the root causes and solutions and explore accountability and compensation for those causes. We discovered erosion under the spillway at Keaton's Lake, which necessitated immediate repairs, but provided the opportunity for additional dredging. To address longstanding concerns in our restaurant operations, the board authorized and funded a first-ever study of our restaurants by an outside consultant. Armed with an extensive consultant's report of findings and recommendations, considerable feedback from a board-initiated member survey about our restaurants, enthusiastic participation by members in the consultant's focus group meetings, new clubhouse furniture and finishes, and with a new food and beverage director with fresh ideas and tremendous energy, we believe we've begun a journey towards outstanding food and beverage amenities that'll reduce future financial subsidies. We have commented amongst ourselves that no association board in their right mind would ever take on all the things we did this year. We set ambitious goals last September, and then we had more than a few unexpected events layered on top of that. We didn't choose it, but we didn't shirk it, and we did the best we could every day. And we were very cognizant of the demands we placed on our management team and staff and the long hours and pressure that they endured to get the job done. Did we make mistakes along the way? Yes. In hindsight, would we have done a few things differently? Absolutely. Were we always in agreement as a board on the best course of action? Nope. But we were always firm in our commitment to do what's best for Low and the members who elected us to serve. Tomorrow, Walt Dirks and I will leave the board, and 2 new members elected by you, the membership, will be seated to begin 3-year terms. In this, my last official speech as president, I want to conclude not by speaking for the board to the membership, but by speaking for the membership to the board. Thank you for stepping up to serve. It's a big job and an enormous responsibility. We, the membership, are pulling for you. We put our faith and our hope in your commitment to serve the best interests of this community. With your leadership and working together, Low will continue to be a wonderful community for all of us. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to call on our general manager to give his annual report.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's another beautiful day at Lake of the Woods, and I'm pleased to stand before you as the general manager to give the annual report. It's a time for us to summarize what happened for the year and to discuss future challenges. This year, we celebrate vibrant community, significant collaborations, and meaningful connections we've made and strengthened over the year. They're 4 months into the fiscal year, and Lowe's overall operational performance is trailing behind budget, and we're working to bring our operational performance back in line. Still, our financial condition remains solid. As of August 31st, assessment collections are on target with 80%. Balances in the 4 reserve funds total $4.5 million. Reserve cash is adequate to cover this year's remaining capital spending requirements of $4.1 million. That includes repayment of the CARC loan. The current loan balance for the clubhouse complex project stands at $260,000. That's all that we have left to pay off. And we'll make that final payment in November, and that'll be done. Operating cash stands at $2.9 million, and cash and investments are $7 million. Assessment delinquency rate for the fiscal year that ended April 30 was 1.3%. Compare that to 1.1 last year, but compare that to an industry average of 5%, and that tells you our finance department and our overall association does a great job and it's a evidence of a financially healthy community. In September, our independent financial auditors will present their report, and we expect to receive an unmodified or clean opinion. Low remains the largest concentration of homes and population in Orange County. According to the 2022 American Community Survey 5-year estimates, Low's population is approximately 8,356. We are 22.8% of Orange County's population of 36,593. Housing stock, that's a key indicator of the health of a community. And so it's good news that from May 23 to April 24, the Environmental Control Committee approved 20 new home construction projects. That was down 5 from the previous year, and approved 175 renovation projects, which is down 13 from the previous year. On April 30th, we had 4,062 completed homes on the 4,260 private lots, up 17 from the last year. And on August 31st, we want to give you the latest stats. We've got 4,072 completed homes. Our finance department issued 276 resale certificate packages during the same period, which was down from the previous year by 27, and approximately 6% of the homes turned over during the last 12 months. In that same period, we had 264 properties change hands, up 10 properties. So in the big picture, we've got 264 new families in this community that need to figure out how we do business around here and how we have fun. The board of directors and management spent significant time on 5 stated board goals. 4 of those are in progress and 1 is complete. And Rick gave us a really good rundown on those. Improve the health of Keaton's Lake, address congestion at the main gate, launch the restrictive covenants referendum, pursue financial strategies, and enhance external engagement. One thing for sure, our board never shied away from the hard decisions that we had this year. Board members took on the referendum effort, commissioned a food and beverage study, and funded key repair and replacement projects. So when we look back at the year, what are we going to remember? We're going to remember our challenges and we're going to remember our successes. So let's take a moment to reflect on a year full of exciting activities, collaborative successes, and dedicated actions by volunteers, employees, and members. So if we could roll the video. All right. Thank you, Lori and Travis. Good job. So I hope that helped you reflect on the year and all that we got done during this year. For the wins for the year, we definitely included the clubhouse refresh project, the 10th hole fairway project, Route 3 fence project, Independence Day celebration, one of the best we've had. Hollyfield Park and Golf Course water bottle filling stations and the equestrian ring fan installation. Love the Lakes Day of Service and the FiberLink community build out. Think about it, folks. We've got a community that's over 50 years old, and we now have fiber to the homes, which puts us right up there with these new communities being built. That was a big game changer. In some ways, it was not the year we thought we would have, but we looked at each challenge and opportunity as a way to improve. When we discovered mold at the fitness center, we scrubbed the system and replaced the tile, and we have an ongoing conversation with the architect about the design. When Keaton's Run Dam spillway showed signs of undermining, we hired a company to inject grout to resolve the issue, and we checked to make sure that the Veterans Dam spillway was in good condition, which it was. When our playgrounds did not pass inspection, we replaced sand with playground mulch and repaired and replaced equipment. As you saw in the video, it looks really excellent. The most recent curveball was the RSA water contamination issue of August 21st, which I think really demonstrated community coming together, a lot of community spirit to help each other. It was really heartwarming to see all the members sharing what water they had and helping each other out. So that's what we'll think of when we look back on the year. There were some significant personnel changes. We had some new hires. We had Joe Beckwith as our new Director of Maintenance Ecology. Kyle Peralt is our new HR manager. Rhonda Sherman is our Business Systems Coordinator. Chaz Kilby is our new Food and Beverage Director. Lori Carter is our Communications and Member Engagement Manager. Mike Armstead, Capital Projects Manager. We had some pretty significant promotions too. We promoted Matilda Barone to Covenants Enforcement Manager, Kevin Patty to Roads Foreman, and Daniel Smith to the newly combined Buildings and Grounds Department. Put them together. We are recruiting a newly authorized clubhouse banquet and catering manager, and we're reviewing whether to hire replacements for our environmental resources manager and erosion and sediment control inspector, or to contract out for those services to an engineering firm. So let's talk about communications department. We made major strides in advancing communications by and between board and members. And the department added communications manager, Lori Carter. She's in the back there, back by the fire extinguisher. If you want to meet her, to lead the team, which includes Lisa Nagashane, who heads up Lake Currents, along with Dan McFarland, who was here. I think he's in the audience, and Chris Porter, and also Travis Miller, who's responsible for videography and website contact. Travis is right back there. You can't miss him. He's up high. This year we've been focused on implementing several communications plans and supporting board goals. One on the restrictive covenants referendum, on lakes management implementation, on the main gate traffic congestion relief project, and on the clubhouse renovation and refresh project. So we've tried to get as best communication out we can. Challenges ahead include enhancing amenity marketing and advertising and messaging to members. The objective is to increase awareness and of our available amenities and to amplify their messaging. Key stats, they'll come up on the screen. I won't go through each one of those, but I think what those show is a healthy participation on the part of our members. Let's turn now to talk about security. And Allied Universal Security is our security contractor. It's in its 12th year here at LOA and received a new 3-year contract from the board. Chief Richard Harrell is with us in the back of the room, and he's been our chief since August 2022. And we have a new deputy chief, Patrick Hennessy. He joined the security team in April. Main gate totals. I always think these are interesting to see how many people come and go out of this community. Main gate, back gate count for the year is 2,456,004. And that's up 7,770 vehicles coming in from last year. That's up 7,770. And so how does that break down? Approximately 1,840,919 vehicles came through the main gate, of which 525,534 came through the visitor lane. So these are some busy folks. The rest of the gate count is at the back gate, and that count was 615,085. So our gates are continuing to get busier and busier. AUS used high traffic procedures to process large numbers of guests, and I think they did an excellent job. We didn't have any law enforcement openings during this year, so hats off to Chief Harrell and his crew. AUS continues to assist members with the all box system. I don't know if your guests have had a chance to use it. It's the kiosk right there at the main gate, and it's used for overnight guest check-in. And it saves us from having 56 hours of manpower overnight, so we can have guests check in through the all box. Lake Patrol continues its enforcement on the lakes, and this year we had 2 Lake Patrol officers out on the lake during high traffic times. That was a big change. The security team continues to work with our sheriff, Sheriff Jason Smith, to deter crime. And the challenges ahead, one of them is coming right at us in the fall, and that's to keep good visitor check-in during the main gate construction project, and to keep encouraging members to use tech control and all box. The AUS has 3 speed indicator signs around the community to remind everybody to drive 25 here in our community. So let's talk about the finance department. That's led by Charlie Manival. He's here with us, but he's in the back room helping with the count this morning. That includes finance, accounting, business systems, and member services. And a lot of you get to meet our fine staff at member services. That's probably where you first came when you were a first member. Or if you have a question, you can go there and get answers. And we continue to keep up with the growth of the community. We had a lot of property owner transfers, a lot of new members and members that just need support for their accounts, payment processing and amenity registration activities. The team continues to support the annual update of the replacement reserve study, our collection efforts that we call Fair But Firm, and to improve our LOA business systems and adhere to internal control procedures. Business system improvements, including the installation of a private FiberLink fiber optic network ring and upgrades to the Jonas management member application to include additions of positive pay support and an electronic reservation system. Okay, well, as far as finance department registers watercraft, and they registered 2,887 watercraft this year. That was down 42 from the previous year. 1,060 were powered and 1,827 were non-powered. Both those stats were down from the previous year. Challenges include keeping assessment delinquency below 2%, which they do a great job at, managing the budget, minimizing cash handling, developing staff, expanding automation, and improving member and amenity reporting. Okay, maintenance department. Let's talk about that big department. It's led by Joe Beckwith, and they take great pride in taking care of all our roads, parks, buildings, and lakes. On May 1st, the department implemented the maintenance work order system. During the first year, the department worked to add all the assets into the system. And in the second year, we're working to get more reports out so that we can work more efficiently. Capital projects are a big effort of that department. And during FY 23-24, we worked on 101 capital and repair projects in the capital spending plan, including carryovers from the year before. And on April 30, 52 were completed, 37 were in progress, and 2 were on hold. And of the 37 that were in progress, 14 more got completed by August 31st. So usually during the summer, we see a lot of projects finished. Daniel Smith leads a newly combined buildings and grounds department, and the buildings department was very busy taking care of the 73 buildings across our community. I'll give you a couple of examples. At the Equestrian Center, the department completed the paddock restoration, wood fence, and the lower ring and paddocks 4 and 5, and also assisted with a covered ring installation of the fan that we mentioned earlier. At the pools, the team upgraded the pool's clubhouse shade structure to pergolas and installed new water lines and fountains at Hollyfield Park and on the golf course. Very busy department, and read my report in Lake Kearns to get the rest of the detail on that. The grounds department maintains over 100 acres of LOA common areas, most visibly in the parks and building landscaping and entryways, and work closely with the garden club, and we'll also work closely with the dog park club. And this year, the grounds department contracted with the external landscape group called BCLS. Maybe you've seen their their trucks or their employees. And they're maintaining 13 of our high traffic areas, including the front entrance, the clubhouse fitness center area, and both dams. So we're seeing if we can provide that service by contract as opposed to employees. The roads department is led by Kevin Patty. It maintains 41 miles of road and 80 miles of ditch lines. This year, they've already completed the tar and chip program and program C, which is sections 10, 11, and 12. And part of our annual program, we also do some paving. And one of the projects I'm really proud of is Lake of the Woods Way got converted from chip and tar to an asphalt road. So where we can, we try to strategically convert those roads to asphalt. And so Lake of the Woods Way from Lakeview all the way up to the clubhouse is now asphalt. We also paved the main marina parking lot at Green Springs Park, basketball multipurpose court, and golf cart paths 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10. Okay, the equipment shop, that's led by Jerry Chatham, and he maintains 125 pieces of equipment, 33 vehicles, and 8 trailers. So they're always busy in that department. The erosion and sediment inspector maintains erosion and sediment control and implements projects that directly benefit our lakes and ponds. This year, the annual project that we had to improve ditch lines was in the 1200 and 1300 block of Lakeview, which included replacing 26 culvert pipes and 39 ditches, along with clearing the way on the culvert pipes that were not replaced. So that's all part of keeping our stormwater system working properly. The team also managed the golf court path culvert replacements. And also took care of some failing crossover culvert pipes on several roads, Larkspur Lane, Edge Hill Road, Westover Parkway, Birchside Circle, Birdie Road, and Westover Parkway intersection. And they assisted also with the 10th Fairway project. So the board recently awarded what we call the Patrick Henry Court Drainage Improvement Project. And our contractor will start that work this fall to improve drainage between Patrick Henry and Hollyfield Park down to Yorktown. And that will have some downstream benefits for all the members all the way down to the small marina. And that project was because of some flooding back in 2018 when Lakeview Parkway actually got overtopped by floodwaters. And so that project gets underway this fall. The Environmental Resources Department maintains and provides expertise and makes decisions on management of the lakes and ponds, the vegetation, the fish, and the wildlife management, for example. And for multi-purpose use and ecological balance based on a thorough understanding of ecological and biological principles and guidelines. The department worked with Solitude Lake Management this year to update and implement our harmful algae bloom response protocol to proactively manage, study, and respond to Keaton's Lake historic battles with the blue-green algae. So we had an outbreak this summer and managed it. And then we also did some proactive treatment before the Labor Day holiday to make sure we didn't have any outbreaks during the holiday. The main marina at the department also had the wood fence and dock fuel pump replaced and the slope stabilized there at main marina. At the small marina and Sailboat Beach, we converted the floating docks to permanent structures. All right, through April 30, here's a statistic for you. Dredging operations removed 2,512 cubic yards of sediment, with the highlight of spending February through April in Keaton's Lake to dredge hotspots to prevent another HAB outbreak. All right, a couple of other departments. Our custodial crew is led by Tracy Johnson. She has 4 custodians maintaining 23 buildings. Our covenants enforcement department is led by Matilda Barone, and they work tirelessly to enforce the covenants and regulations and also to support the Environmental Control Committee to facilitate member requests to build homes, renovate and update their properties, and add outbuildings and structures. One of our most important duties here at LOIS is to ensure that all the properties on the private lots meet the standards that are defined by the declaration and the regulations. And approximately, this is interesting, 38% of the violations were solved with a courtesy contact, a phone call, or an email, which is great news because it just keeps from having to go through the whole formal violation letter process. The courtesy notices work best with RVs, signs, holiday lights, trash cans, and dead trees. So you get a call from the ladies or get an email, and if we can solve it then we're all done. We don't have to worry about it. We can keep going. On May 1st, 2023, the team started the fiscal year with 101 open violations. This is to give you an idea of how much work they've got going on. The team then pursued 339 new violations, and of those, they resolved 277 violations, leaving 169 unresolved right now. So that means they're continuing to work with members, but if they need to, we'll bring it to the board of directors, and the board will have to encourage members to get these resolved, or else we'll have to go to court, which we hate to do. We hate to take someone to court over matters like this, but we will if we have to enforce our covenants. Our challenges ahead: construction projects. We'll have 2 construction projects this fall. Plus, we'll also be working on, I've mentioned those, the main gate and Patrick Henry. We'll also be working on Hollyfield and Spotswood restroom renovations. We also want to implement a new HVAC annual maintenance program and improve our dredging operations. We also need to catch up on some of our ditch cleaning backlog and make fuller use of our e-maintenance system. So that was maintenance. Now let's talk about community operations. And Kimberly Toon is in the back of the room. She manages her staff, Daniela Campfield, who's also in the back, and Alex Spark and Susan During. They've had an eventful year, and the team through the year, they're sort of the fun department. That's where you're going to get the great activities. Starting next with Treats on the Point in October, Chris Kindlemart in December, S'mores and Campfire in April, and Community Open Market in May. The team also supports the Pools and Community Activities Committee. They're very active all the time, doing events such as the Arts and Crafts Camp, Sip and Swim, and Super Soaker events. This year, the team implemented many activities related to National Parks and Recreation Month in July. They also work closely with Low players in purchasing the chairs that you're sitting on today. Aren't they much more comfortable than the old blue chairs we had? I think so. So thank you, players, and thanks for partnering with us on that. As I mentioned earlier, we thought that 2024 Independence Day was one of the best ones, starting with the parade, going through the point activities to the ski show and to the fireworks. And the community operations staff hosted the vendors and amusements at the point and assisted also with the parade. Okay, how busy is this building that we're in here? The average number of members using the community center increased this year to the point that we had 37,546 visitors this year, which is up 7,546 from the year before. Why is it so busy? Well, a lot of it had to do with participation at board meetings and also low-link events. Those seem to account for most of the increases. The community center also is where you come for the Low players, performances, elections, board meetings, and town halls, and many other special events. And in addition to that, our staff also takes care of reservations at the Woods Center, Trophy Room, the lower level clubhouse, campgrounds, pavilions, and pool parties. So see them for the fun. Our fitness center memberships, 781 memberships as of mid-August. That's up 22 from previous year. And we also have open house coming up on September 28th. If you haven't been by, come on by. Our pickleball tennis memberships is 282 as of mid-August and up 22 compared to the previous year. Both pools open Memorial Day weekend with Winkler Pool as our lifeguard, pool maintenance service, and private and taking care of private and group swim lessons. The ever popular water aerobics classes were on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and at the clubhouse pool, and the Barracuda swim team was at Sweetbriar on Wednesdays. We purchased new water basketball hoops at clubhouse pool and gave the pool a fresh white coat to make it, I think it looks excellent. Our August pool hours for clubhouse pool were extended to daily through Labor Day. We had carved those back during COVID, so we put them back in, and we hope you appreciate it. And also, we upgraded the shade structures to pergolas at the clubhouse pool. And it became very clear this year, members want shade. They want to be near the water, but they want to be in the shade. So we're trying our best to do that. Dog lovers, please join us at Soggy Doggy Swim at Sweetbriar Pool on September 8th this year. All right. As of August 30th, we've accommodated over 8,089 visits to the pool. So almost 9,000 members and guests went to the pool. That represents 34% of the households here in the community. And pool concession stands are on target for budget. Challenges for the coming year include finding more space for people to meet. It just seems like we're running out of room for folks to meet together. And also bidding out the pool contract for the next 3 years and continuing to update our pool water features at the pools. All right, let's talk about golf. Golf maintenance and contractor IGM has been with us since 2005. And Brian Gilbo is our superintendent since last September. Brian and his crew are keeping the golf course in excellent condition. This year, they worked to resolve drainage issues on holes 1, 11, and 14, and grew and reopened the reconstructed hole 10, and also rebuilt the 4T on hole 14. And they've been removing underbrush along the perimeters to try to encourage the turf to be dense as possible. And they also worked with the golf committee and the pro shop staff to successfully host several golf events. And so our golf operations team, there's Eric's picture there, continues to manage our golf club to increase revenue and provide fun. The pro shop hosted 20 golf events, held rules and handicapping clinics for our annual members and residents to a slight increase in the number of annual memberships from the previous year, from 204 to 207. And there were 3 week-long junior golf camps, which are fun to see. That we've got some junior golfers coming along, and they had over 55 of our youth participating, and they were very happy to see the 10th Fairway project to get back in. So we had all 18 holes restored once again. To generate additional revenue, we had 16 contracted events which were held last year and over 20 scheduled for this year. We have a new par 3 tees that are out on the course. So we essentially offer 2 9-hole par 3 courses with the front and back, which really helps beginning players and junior players and others that just want to practice. Golf revenue, we had almost we almost had $690,000 an increase which is an increase of 4.5% year over year. Total rounds went up, which is great to see. We exceeded 23,000, and that was a 3% increase in rounds of golf. Challenges ahead are to find a location for a golf simulator somewhere in the Wood Center or in a building near it, and to add value to memberships and attract non-grass recreational players. All right, let's talk about our 2 restaurants. Fairways, under the able leadership of Assistant Manager Peggy Constant, has overcome the challenges related to equipment, menu, training. Her strategic changes to the systems, staffing, menu, and overall operations have led to significant improvements and all across the area. And we added additional shift leader, and it's helped us strengthen the team and also maintain our cafe hours. Fairways has successfully increased the attendance of themed events over the year, including Trivia Night, Dart League, Pick and Sing, and the Newlywed Game. Right, we've got a Neely in the audience right there. See her. And these initiatives have enhanced community engagement and contributed to Fairways' popularity. Additionally, Fairways has catered 2 notable golf tournaments, the Shamrock Golf Classic and the Living Water Community Clinic. Fairway sales from September 23 to August 24 resulted in $551,000. All right, the clubhouse. It struggled with some staff, food, pricing, and performance issues in the past year. And that performance prompted the board of directors to hire a group called the Borders Golf Group to come in and take a look at operations. Now that assessment's been completed and we've hired Chaz Kilby, his picture was up earlier. We're quickly making changes suggested by Borders Golf Group and trying to improve the overall performance of the clubhouse. Many of our community groups have frequented the clubhouse for dinners and gatherings, and during this year, we had several weddings, most notably one in October that had 175 people attend. The clubhouse shut down in January to undertake the refresh project, and you saw some pictures of how that looked. And we just recently got in our new banquet chairs. So if you haven't been there in the last few days, we got 200 banquet chairs in to replace our old ones. And but when you have a project like that, it negatively impacted this banquet sales through March, and we are working to reach our targets for the fourth quarter of the year. So restaurant and catering sales for September 23 through August 24 resulted in the revenue of a little over $1 million. So we think we have better days ahead for Clubhouse. All right, let's talk about the Equestrian Center. That's our last department that we'll highlight today. Manager Bridget Hudgens, that's Bridget right there. Assistant Manager Nikki Reyes and full-time barn staffer Katie Farabee and the equestrian staff take care of 7 equines and 3 felines. So you got to have some barn cats around, and we've got 3. So come by and see them. Most of the time they're laying around because they're just fat and happy, but they work hard. Loa is home to 5 lesson horses: Fancy, Prescott, Pesto, Gus, and Trinket. 1 boarded horse, Gunner, and 1 staff horse, Giselle. Loa lesson horses Ivy and Patton retired after summer camp this summer. The Equestrian Center is proud to boast that the 2024 Pony Camp sold out all 48 camper spots and beat revenue projections for this year. In all, we had 35 families participating in the 6 weeks of Pony Camp. Flo, Friends of the Lake of the Woods, has contributed to help the Equestrian Center Committee pursue the writing lessons scholarship program. The fall 2023 scholarship program allowed 8 riders to participate in 5 writing lessons, and the spring 2024 round awarded 4 more riders with 5 lessons. So, and the Equestrian Committee championed the Big Ass Fan. That's the name of the project. And I think the staff enjoys when it's in a speech like this. And if you haven't seen it, the board approved it and it got installed July 18th. And it makes a big difference in the Jesse Graves arena. And not only do the riders appreciate it, but the horses appreciate it, Bridget tells me. The challenge ahead is to reach the 100 riding lessons per month revenue target that the department set for itself. All right, now we're wrapping up. Thanks to the board of directors for all of your hard work. It's probably not enough to just say thanks. There's so much more we can say to each of you. Congratulations to Rick Rappaport and to Walt Dirks for completing your terms of service. We appreciate each of you and all the significant contributions you've made in time and talent. Thanks also to the management team and operations center managers that helped us during the year. And I will personally thank each one of them. Thank you also, members. Thank you for your valuable input, and thank you to the committees for your valuable input along the year. You've helped us tremendously. It's your community, so we'd like to hear from you and how you would like to do things. So now's the time, if you have a comment card, to get those to the staff, and I appreciate your time and attention.
Thank you, Phil. It's now time for Lowe's Annual Honors Awards presentations, and it's my pleasure to introduce the Chair of our Honors Awards Committee, Helen Brewer, who will introduce the rest of her committee and make some presentations. Welcome.
Thank you, Rick. Good morning, members of the board, general manager, Lake of the Woods Association members, and all guests that are here today. The Honor Awards Committee is tasked with soliciting, compiling, and creating awards for members of the Lake of the Woods Association who have been nominated by fellow members of the association. This is what our committee, composed of Nancy Cronin, Gina Davis, Cindy Miller, Carrie Neely, Carolyn Rourke, Cliff Wilkes, and myself have tried to do. Our task was supported, encouraged, and facilitated by the board, especially Rick Rappaport, who was our board liaison and who was unflappable in all the crazy things that went on at our committee. He stood there and was able to support us, and for that we are grateful. We are also grateful for our general manager and the association's staff, especially Carolyn Brodeur, Lori Trocchio, Kimberly Toon, and Daniela Campbell. I personally am one that have sent 1,000 emails, made phone calls. They're never, ever upset with all my repeat requests. They're very patient. And I know that these are individuals that, quote, are salaried, but it isn't just what they do for us, but it's how they do it. They're always pleasant, helpful, and try to go way above and beyond the call of duty. So for the many people that work behind the scenes here at the lake, we really all need to be very grateful. As a committee, we are not permitted to nominate people. It is not our role. But I do think our role includes expressing gratitude and appreciation. And I know it's already been mentioned, but these people that sit up here do so much. They spent hours, days, weeks, months of unbelievable time trying to make life here at Lake of the Woods better for you and I. And I know that in other HOAs, they have to put up with complaints, but nobody at Lake of the Woods ever complains to them, right? And they bear it with great grace and goodness in their hearts because they live here and they want it to be a good place too. And you're their neighbors and they want you to be happy. So we really, I mean, can you imagine what our assessment would cost if we had to pay people to do the hours of work that they do? It'd be skyrocketing. So just that alone is a reason to be grateful for their goodness. This morning, there was a special meeting today for the referendum, and I noticed that there were former presidents here doing grunt work, trying to make sure everything worked well. There's so many people here. If we had an award for every single one, we'd be here forever. But today we are focusing on some very special people who have given a lot of their time and efforts and service and heart to make life here at Lake of the Woods better. So I'd like you to join with me, even though we've done it before. I think the people up here at this table deserve an extra round of applause. So please join me. Thank you. And thank you, because a lot of you out there could be getting these awards too. I know that. The awards presented today are given for a variety of reasons. There are 6 categories represented today. A certificate of appreciation is given to an individual for services and/or accomplishments of benefit to the Low community in general by a specific individual. The Outstanding Service Award recognizes those who have gone above and beyond what is normally expected of a volunteer. They contribute selflessly to the general welfare and quality of life of our Low community. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes someone who has undertaken a specific task for the benefit of Low members and enriched them through hard work and dedication. The Community Service Group Award recognizes a club or organization that has provided some special service or who has had a marked impact on Low or the surrounding community. This year, the award has been combined with the Outstanding Youth Award, recognizing the contributions of youth who have contributed time, talent, enthusiasm, and leadership to others in an exceptional way. And the final award is the Heroic Act Award. It is given for heroic and especially courageous actions that protect the life and property at LOA in an emergency situation or under extreme hazardous circumstances requiring courage and possible personal risk. At this time, the members of the committee will announce the recipients of this year's honor awards.
Morning. My name is Cindy Miller, and a certificate of appreciation is awarded to Dan Deputy. Please come forward, Dan. A show of hands as to how many of us in this room are aware of the Low Men's Golf Association or are a member. They are a large group of golf enthusiasts who meet weekly to enjoy the game and healthy competition. It is a huge endeavor to organize and have the weekly matches run smoothly. This could not be possible without the efforts of Dan Deputy. He has done an outstanding job as the lead volunteer organizing the Low Men's Golf Association over this extended golf season. Each week, he may deal with as many as 60 golfers. He comes in early and stays late. He selects the format, explains the rules, tallies the results, and distributes the prizes. In this role, he shows great patience. Although, as a former ship's captain, he may long for the old tradition of a good flogging for the slower players. Overall, he exhibits exceptional leadership for the benefit of the Low golf community and deserves this recognition. Thank you and congratulations, Dan. Good job. Thank you. A certificate of appreciation is awarded to Renee Hockenberger. Please come forward, Renee. Everyone meets people in their lives that offer to help, but there are only a handful who make a lasting impression on our minds and in our hearts. These people are rare. Renee Hockenberger is one of these real rare people. Renee reached out and gave much needed support to a new neighbor who lost her husband of over 45 years and then lost her ability to drive. Renee helped this neighbor feel less devastated and alone. Even as Renee renovates her house by herself and attends to her elderly parents living nearby, she still finds the time to help a neighbor fix her shower door. She always makes time for people, truly cares about their well-being, and offers support. And to quote a friend, Renee is hope, Renee is encouragement, and she's fun to be with. A certificate of appreciation is awarded to Kathy Major. Please come forward, Kathy. Kathy Major has been participating for more than 15 years in a grassroots mobile food bank operation that provides assistance to the working poor. Every week, Kathy collects food from our Locust Grove Food Lion and with her husband, Greg, and other volunteers, distributes it to families in need. For years, she stored the donated food in her own garage at her home here in the lake, where she organized and prepared it for distribution. She has since acquired a storage unit with the help of St. Patrick's Church, which supports her both with funding and with refrigerated storage space at the church. In 2023, she partnered with the Fredericksburg Food Bank to be able to receive meats and other perishable food. Kathy's work has had a huge positive impact on the lives of the people she serves, with one family telling her that without her help, they would not have made it through COVID because of lost jobs and income. We know the need is great in our community, and Kathy Major is indeed a major player in filling those needs. Thank you and congratulations.
I'm shorter than she is. Good morning, my name is Gina Davies. and a certificate of appreciation is awarded to Kevin Madison. As you drive around the streets and parks of our Lake of the Woods community, do you ever stop and admire how clean and beautiful our neighborhood is? Our maintenance crew and garden club do a wonderful job, but there are many others who quietly do their part to keep our neighborhood pristine. Kevin Madison is one of those quiet people. Kevin is seen every morning walking one or more dogs along Lakeview Parkway. His neighbors notice that he always has trash bags with him. On his extensive walks, he takes the time to fill these bags and properly dispose of them. His daily year-round efforts to keep our community debris-free are greatly appreciated. And accepting on Kevin's behalf is Cliff Will. A certificate of appreciation is awarded to Ginny Smith. Please come forward. Ginny Smith goes beyond her duties as a low-link volunteer. She extends her dedication to serving others by helping her neighbors and friends in need too. She has a genuine desire to help. For example, she used her personal vehicle to dispose of a neighbor's old mattress. She helped a neighbor buy a car by driving them to all the car dealerships in the area. She drove a friend to a doctor's appointment over 50 miles away, patiently waited for them during the appointment, and then drove them home. These are just a few examples of her acts of kindness that have touched many individuals deeply. Having people like Ginny in our community makes Lake of the Woods a more desirable place to live. Thank you and congratulations. A certificate of appreciation is awarded to Shelley Williams. Please come forward. When a friend asked Shelley for help on the Lake of the Woods Board Nominating Committee, Shelley gladly stepped in, and she has stayed on the committee for 6 years. She has risen in her capacity on that committee and puts the needs of LOA ahead of her own discomfort with public speaking and being out in front. She is also a lioness and works picking up food for the food pantry, but her true passion is as the lioness share and care person, reaching out to anyone who is ill or just needs a kind and friendly word. She's also active in the garden club and is their share and care person. She was instrumental in getting the garden club to participate in our 4th of July parade. Shelley never fails to step up when she sees a need and is quick to lend a kind word and a smile. She is a valuable member of our community. Thank you and congratulations, Shelley.
Good morning. My name is Carolyn Rourke, and it's my pleasure to award a trophy for outstanding service to Heidi Brown. Heidi, would you come up, please? Heidi is an exemplary asset to many clubs and organizations at Lake of the Woods. After leaving the Army as a 2-star general, thank you for your service, Heidi. She settled here and started her involvement in low groups. Some of these have included the Ladies Golf Association, the Lioness Lions Club, and the Loa Board. Heidi also is a valued speaker to many organizations, including ARC and the Child Help Village. Heidi has become an integral part of the Ladies Golf Association, currently serving as first vice president and soon to take over the 2-year commitment as president. She shares her expertise on and off the course, using her patience and words of encouragement as a volunteer mentor for the farm team. As a lioness, Heidi has held the thankless position as the lead tamer, setting up all the dinner meals, tirelessly collecting the funds, and gracefully handling last-minute changes. She has been a leader in developing a lioness code of conduct and in revising the bylaws. Her service has made a positive difference in the many organizations she has immersed herself into here at the Lake of the Woods. She's a true asset to this community. Thank you and congratulations. And a trophy for outstanding service is given to Bob Keating. Bob is unable to be here today, but his award will be accepted by Mark Warner. Mark, do you want to come up? Bob Keating has provided outstanding service to the pickleball club here at Lake of the Woods since 2015. He serves as a role model to the growing club membership of 280 men and women, not only with his athletic skills, but more significantly in setting the standard for sportsmanship and inclusive culture on the courts. His demeanor and skills provide a high level of leadership and positive influence. When the club began providing formal clinics to its members, Bob was on the ground floor developing curriculum and drills. As a U.S. Pickleball Association certified instructor, he has provided free clinics to 76 club members. He also has coordinated terminology and techniques with the club's core of trainers who teach the fundamentals to potential low pickleball players. Just as one indicator of the scope of his dedication, the monetary value of his volunteered instruction time approximates $20,000. The improved skills of club members, bringing increased safety and satisfaction to the daily recreational playing experience. It cannot be overstated how large of an impact Bob has had on the skills and culture of the Low Pickleball Club. Congratulations to Bob.
Good morning. My name is Carrie Neely. The trophy for outstanding service is given to Nancy King. Please come forward. There are a lot of reasons why people move to Low. For many, it is playing on our golf course. But what do you do if you live in a golf community, do not know how to play the game, but want to learn? Lucky for us, you joined the golf farm team. In 2007, the Ladies Golf Association created the golf farm team with Nancy King as the principal golf instructor. The goal was to introduce Low members to the game of golf, as well as promote the golf course as a valued amenity. Over the past 16 years, the success of this program under Nancy King's leadership can be measured in the enrollment of new members in both the Men's and Ladies Golf Association. The success of this program has created substantial expansion in the number of participants every year. Nancy's unwavering commitment to this program has never lessened. She works tirelessly to ensure members can take full advantage of the association amenities while learning the game, making new friends, and having fun. This long-serving commitment to the golfing community and the association deserves this recognition of the Outstanding Service Award. The trophy for outstanding service is given to Fred Lang. Please come forward. Fred is president of the Low Pickleball Club and secretary of the Loa Pickleball Tennis Committee. Besides running the club, he often repairs items at the courts himself, and he even cleans the courts too. He initiates projects through the Pickleball Tennis Committee and works closely with Loa to make sure things get done. Improvements during his tenure include repainting and servicing the pickleball courts, lighting improvements on the indoor and outdoor courts, replacement of the court's awnings and windscreens, and installation of an AED, automated external defibrillator, near the courts, just to name a few. During Fred's tenure, the Pickleball Club has grown to 285 members, and services have exploded, including beginner lessons, boot camp, ladies and mixed doubles groups, ladder league, and Deal Pickle. I said that right? Deal Pickle. You have to find out from Fred what that is, and tournaments. Fred's handyman skills and his generosity in using them are kind of legendary around the lake. In a separate nomination, he was recognized for coming to the aid of a neighbor by fixing his lighting transformer when the resident was unable to get a contractor to make the repair. Fred's leadership skills, vision, and ability to work with Low staff make pickleball at Low an outstanding experience for club members. Thank you and congratulations, Fred.
Hi, my name is Cliff Wilkes. And I am going to find my page. Here we go. Thank you. The trophy for outstanding service is given to Ann Warner. Please come forward. Pickleball. Pickleball has become one of the fastest growing sports in the country, and the sport is also being played by athletes with diverse abilities. The Low Pickleball Club offers adaptive pickleball, providing a positive impact in helping people with physical challenges stay active and enhancing their quality of life. Ann Warner has volunteered her time nearly every Saturday for the past 6 years as a pickleball coach and coach and instructor for the Adaptive Pickleball Group. She has assisted in planning and conducting 2 tournaments for the Adaptive Pickleball Group, but Ann's dedication and success in helping the participants is best demonstrated by her significant improvement of one player in particular. In 2018, this player needed Ann to help him hold his paddle to serve and return the ball. Thanks to Ann's encouragement and expert guidance over the years, he has gradually gained more strength and independence. Now he is serving and returning the ball on his own, without assistance and with great power and confidence. Ann says that working with this group has been her most rewarding and enjoyable experience over many years of volunteering. Thank you. Next is the trophy for Dick Unser. Please come forward. Dick Unser is an active and generous member of our community. He is president of the Square Dance Club, in which he arranges the schedule for lessons and classes, and he hires and assigns callers and follows up when one of the callers or members is sick, even to the point of visiting them in the hospital. He handles all the announcements and the emails pertaining to upcoming lessons and dances. And when the regular caller is not available, Dick even teaches the lessons. He is always attentive to member birthdays and other recognition. Dick is on the Low Planning Committee, and he also serves as president of the Low Lions Club. This is a full-time job in itself. He conducts monthly member and board meetings, volunteers every Saturday at the Lions Yard Sale, and on Fridays at the food pantry. He arranges social events for the Lions members, like dinners and baseball games. He assigns different tasks to members, such as inviting members to join the caring committee. He always remembers to recognize members for their accomplishments. The list of his activities is huge, and he does it all quietly and humbly, never seeking acknowledgement for his many contributions to our community. Thank you, Dick.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're almost done. My name is Nancy Lawton Cronin, and the trophy for outstanding service by a Youth Community Service Organization Award is given to the Cub Scout Pack 197. This award will be received by Mike Holder and Jack Simmons. Would you please come forward? Thank you. Sure. Over the last several years, the Civil War Study Group's president has become more aware of the growing vitality of the youth participating in the Cub Scouts program sponsored by the Lake of the Woods Church. Working with the Civil War Study Group, PAC 197 performs an annual cleaning of the interpretive panels the group has gifted to LOA. This workday also includes cleaning out dead limbs and other debris from the historical Spotswood Cemetery and collecting canned goods for the Wilderness Food Pantry. The PAC's 10 adult leaders have other programs for the over 30+ current Cubs, including Pinewood Derby, the 2-day Headwaters Council Cub Camporee, and marching in the Low 4th of July Parade. This year, the PAC has started the process of inviting sisters of the PAC members to participate, a new program nationwide for Cub Scout USA. All this positive activity gives a substantial degree of optimism for the future of our community as these young scouts learn about themselves and their fellow scouts and the importance of working together to help others in the community. We thank you. And at this time, you guys are all here. Thank you and congratulations. The trophy for a Heroic Act Award is given to Kathy and Jim Harkness. Would you please come forward? Hiding. It was Sunday, April 14th, and spring was in full swing on the main lake. Jim and Kathy Harkness decided to take advantage of the lovely day and go on a pontoon boat ride. As they were enjoying the ride, they noticed something odd in the water, and upon investigating, they noticed it was a young boy clinging to an overturned kayak. The water temperature was below 60 degrees, and the boy was struggling. Without hesitation, Jim and Kathy steered their boat towards the boy, brought him on board, and towed his kayak to safety. Both the boy and its kayak were delivered in good condition to his family waiting on the shore. Safe boating and being responsible is an understatement as to Jim and Kathy's noble actions. They went above and beyond being good neighbors. And we thank you and congratulations.
Would all of the award recipients please stand? Turn around and face the group. I'd like to thank all of you for being here today to honor these very wonderful people for their goodness to all of us here at Lake of the Woods. I would like to especially thank those who nominated these individuals: Azar Bigdelli, Charles Brewer, Alice Clune, Ted Cronin, Dave Davies, Ralph Debnan, Geraldine and James Hodson, Darcy Jennings, Loretta Lafley, Fred Lang, Vasa Olson, Dan Porter, Frank Tierney. These individuals took the time to make sure that these individuals were recognized. So thank you. And I hope many of you will consider nominating people for next year. Or maybe today has inspired you to go out and do that extra little thing that helps keep Lake of the Woods such a wonderful place to live. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Helen. I just want to observe, and I want to thank Helen for your leadership for the past several years of this committee. Every month we would get an agenda that was a complete page long, and every month we would be done in less than an hour. Despite my best efforts, none of that rubbed off on me. But she is an amazing leader. You've done an amazing job. Thank you to the entire committee for all your hard work. Every year, the board president has the honor of presenting the President's Award to an outstanding member of the Low community. Before I do so, I want to share with you a little history of this award. By Low standards, it is a fairly new award, and I was surprised to learn that the official name of the award is the President's Award for Chair of the Year. And the first recipient in 2012 was Tom Sheridan, then chair of the Planning Committee. I don't know if Tom's here today or not, but he is still actively involved in this association and a good friend. I'm going to break with tradition and not start reading facts about the recipient while everyone tries to guess who I'm talking about. And you'll understand why in a moment. At this time, I want to invite to the podium the chair of the Finance Committee, Jane Haltmeyer. Didn't see that coming, did you? When I reached out to her husband, John, and told him that I needed his help to get Jane here, he said, "That's great. We're even going to have some family here that weekend." A few days later, he contacted me and he said, "You know, Jane's very perceptive. And if I tell our family what's going on, we'll never be able to keep that secret for weeks." So I told him that I'm going to receive the award and we all need to go to the meeting. Now, for those of you that don't know, John is the chair of the Fitness Committee, and he's done a great job. And so that's a totally believable lie. Jane and John moved to the lake in 2016, and Jane wasted no time in getting involved. She was on the External Affairs Committee from 2016 to 2018 before moving to the Finance Committee in 2018. For the past 2 years, she's been the chair of the Finance Committee, and in 2022-2023, chaired the Ad Hoc Committee on Future Financial Challenges and Funding Sources. These were challenging jobs in difficult times, and Jane has done an outstanding job. She's calm, rational, smart, and open. She offers valuable insights and discussions based on her career expertise as a PhD economist at the Federal Reserve Board. She presents the findings and recommendations of her committee professionally and objectively, even if occasionally they're not completely aligned with her own personal opinions. That's critical for a committee chair. In her spare time, Jane has been the president of the Child Help Auxiliary. She now serves as their treasurer, and she's an active Lions Club member. She's the mother to 3 daughters, and they have 1 grandson. John also thought it was important for me to mention that Jane is married to a really pleasant, handsome guy. Congratulations, Jane. What have I done with you?
There you go.
All right, Phil.
This is the part of the meeting where the president and I answer the questions that we received from the membership, the comments, and we appreciate it. We got 6 cards and we're going to tag team these. So the first one is, can you explain the impact of the Amendment 1 not passing the future assessment rates? This is Amendment 1 on the referendum.
How much time do we have? I don't know. So much has been said about this, and I want to be brief. As you know, the impetus for this was to replace the dwindling new construction and renovation fees, which for many, many years averaged somewhere around $500,000 a year. The question number 1 would have imposed a new capital fee on new members buying into Low that was equivalent to the amount of the annual assessment. This past year, we had 276 resale certificates for new members coming in. Had question 1 passed and they would have been assessed an amount equivalent to the annual assessment, that would have raised approximately $573,000, which is about the amount of money that we're trying to replace in the NCR. That amount of money, because question 1 didn't pass, that amount of money will have to come from somewhere. And that's roughly an additional $135 on the assessment that will be determined by the next board as they prepare the budget. But again, trying to close the gap between dwindling NCR fees and the needs of the association. Next question.
Next question is very much similar to this. Can you recap the 3 failed referendum issues and the impact moving forward? You want to do this one or you want me to? All right, the 3 questions. Question number 1, we just covered that, had to do with the capital contribution that would be for new members. And so the question is, what is the impact moving forward? I think Rick capsulized it very well. It was going to be a form of income that we could use on capital projects, and we won't have that. The second question was on Airbnbs and limiting and regulating those. And it means that going forward, our community will continue to be an investment community. Investment properties will be allowed, and it also means that we'll regulate those under using the tenant fee. So if there's a property where the owner isn't present, then we'll continue to charge the tenant fee for those properties. And we'll have to use our rules and regulations to make sure that everyone complies with all the rules and regulations that any lot owner would have to follow. And then the third one had to do with allowing the association to charge the fees that any new association could charge. See, one of our issues is we have older documents that we got to we've got to continually keep them up with what a new community can do. So new communities can charge the $50 one-time fee for a violation and a $10 a day fee violation. And because we don't have those, we'll have to use the courtesy calls, the letter writing, and then if we can't get a member to comply, we'll have to take them to court. And we just recently took 5 members to court. And so we'll do that, but that's at the expense of the association up front. And then we'll put that on the lot owner if we win in court to try to get those back. But it mainly has to do with lot violations, but it also has to do with anything on the common areas as well. So we'll probably use just saying that you suspension of privileges as opposed to a fine if there's an issue on the common area. So we'll manage. We'll figure out a way to do it. It was a way that we could have modernized, but we'll continue going. That won't stop us. So anything else you want to say about that one? Okay. Then we'll go to the third one. When will we be able to have all-day breakfast again at Fairways? Okay? Kind of making me a little hungry thinking about it. And so I try to be specific. So I guess I'm going to say May 1st, 2025, unless we figure out a way to get some funding ahead of time. And what's involved with it is the issue is cooking chicken and omelets on the same grill. Okay, that's not good, not good. And so trying to separate those over the last few years we've had Fairways is sort of been a maddening process. And it was Peggy Constant, I mentioned her earlier, it was her view that this is madness. We can't keep this up. We've got to separate it. So that's why we set a time that breakfast would be over. So to get this done, we need to buy something called a fire and ice combination char broiler griddle that cooks on, has the hot part on top and refrigeration below. And so Peggy Constant and Chaz Kilby will be working with the Fairways Committee to try to get that done. And I believe that cost us around $11,000. So if we can't get the $11,000 in the next few months, then it'll have to be in the new budget. And so it'll have to be budgeted in the first day of the budget year is May 1st. That's my best answer on that one. You want to say anything about that one? Okay, we'll just keep going then. All right. That one has to do with equipment. All right, the next one is, let's see, what steps are going to be implemented to avoid having to shut down beaches and coves as a result of high bacteria counts? You want me to take a shot at that? I made a couple of notes. So my first answer is geese. Most of the time, if there's E. coli outbreaks, it has to do with geese and people. So geese, I've got you heard me mention Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith is my new buildings and grounds foreman, and he's very excited to try a couple of new things. Now on the golf course, we've tried silhouettes, right? You've seen that. You've seen the silhouettes at the 14th pond. And so he's interested in trying some silhouettes at some of our beaches. And then there's also something called Critter Ritter he wants to try, which is motion activated spraying water. So we're going to try a couple of these things. It's very hard because the geese figure out what's going on and they adapt. So if we can try to keep the geese off the beaches, we think that'll help quite a bit. And for people, we'll continue to provide bathrooms and porta potties. And so we hope that'll help. And so that's the answer to that. Anything you want to add to that one? All right. All right, we'll keep going. And the last two then are thank yous. You want me to read the thank yous? It's a good segue into our thank you to our outgoing members. Thank you to all the board members for your service to our community, especially Rick and Walt, as you complete your terms. We appreciate your unselfish giving of your time and your energy to help deal with all the many issues from the community. Thank you. And this one, the last one, is an expression of thanks and gratitude to the board for their countless hours of service, volunteerism to make this community a great place. You are appreciated more than you know. So very much. Well said. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate it. I always think back on the comments we have from the annual meeting. So I'll keep those in mind as we go through the year. And so now at this point, we want to.
You might have some Zoom questions. No?
No, not today. So for membership meetings, the people present are the people on Zoom watch. So it has to do with how we check people in. So we'd have to credential them to be part of the meeting. All right. So now we're to the part where we want to say a few words and the president is supposed to help with this. So I guess this is called self-help. All right. Well, let's start with Walt. Walt Dirks, would you please come up for a moment? All right. We have a couple of gifts for Walt as he departs from the board. And Walt, we appreciate all you've done. He's looking at me like, what do you have in that bag? All right. We appreciate all you've done for us. Thinking back on your 6 years of time here, we think about you serving as treasurer, and think about you being on the rules committee and your input. That was all during the years that we had that chance to get, and we did get a PPP loan. And there was also time that we refinanced our CARC loan to help lower the payback on that. So it was all when Walt was in charge. And also you were involved with the ad hoc audit committee back in the day. So yeah, it goes back quite a ways. But one of the things that I always appreciate, Walt, he's got some great sayings. And one of his sayings is, ride the horse in the direction it's going. Something kind of close to that, Walt. So he says that to me a lot. So it must mean I need that advice. But we got a little something for you. It's not live. It won't hurt you. But I mentioned this to the ladies at the equestrian center, and they said they thought they could help me. So we have for you a personalized horseshoe in UVA colors. And Bridget said, oh, and we put some sparkles on it too. So, and so you want to always hang it that way so your luck doesn't run out. Right. Okay. All right. Also, the guys at the pro shop know that you're a golfer. So we got you something that with Nutter for you for a party gift as well. So, and there's a little card in here from the staff. Oh my goodness. Whoa. So enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. Come by and see us every once in a while. Would you like to say anything?
I'll just repeat what I said at the last meeting is, these continuing 5 people and the 2 yet to be announced new members, they work very hard. Try to be civil. Please, please, please. They're not your enemy. They're not your piñata. Please. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That was fun. Okay, Rick, so much we can say about you. I always think of you as serving on the Safety and Security Committee and having input on that. And of course, that made you a natural person to help us with the Main Gate project. And Main Gate project did get approved. We are going to see construction of the additional lane coming into the community. So that took years of effort, and you were involved in that. I also think about your participation on the wake surfing issue and prohibition and helping us change our rules regarding wake surfing. And also, I think you've been an excellent column writer. That always stuck out to me. And it's like, all right, well, I got to step up my game a little bit here. If he's going to write a column like that, mine's going to be right next to it. I better do a better job. So I might call on you to ghostwrite for me a couple of times during the year if I get stuck, if I get writer's block. But we also think, speaking of blocks, I know you were involved with the woodworkers quite a bit. So our little gift for you relates to that. So the first thing is we have a certificate for you. A little bird told us that Rockler Woodworking and Hardware is a good place to give a gift card. So the gift card's in the mail. So please accept that as proof. And Lori Trocchio wrote you a little note so that it's good as gold if she wrote that for you. And then when I told the guys at the buildings crew I was going to do this for you, they had a little something for you too. So this is sort of a last minute thing. There's also a card in there for the staff. It's a little phone holder, and it's got a slot for your cord to go through. It's got your name on it. I asked him, I said, give me a block of wood. I said, give me a block of wood so we can put the card on it. And they said, nah, we can do better than that. And they whipped that out in a few seconds. So anyway, so the guys appreciate you too. So for all in all, for Walt and Rick, appreciate you so much. We hate to see you go. The GM always has a special relationship with the president. I call him in the middle of the night. He calls me in the middle of the night, whatever it takes to keep the association going. So it's been a pleasure working with you, Rick. Thanks so much.
True confession, I hate writing those columns. But it comes with the territory. All right, I know what we're all waiting to hear, and before we get there, I'm obligated and required to read the upcoming meetings. So bear with me one more minute. Our next meeting is tomorrow, Tuesday, September 3rd, 9 o'clock here. That's the annual meeting, the reconstitution of the Board of Directors. Upcoming meetings, a special meeting of the board for the purpose of a retreat and executive session for the annual legal briefing, Tuesday, September 10th, here at the Community Center, 9 a.m. A special meeting of the board for the purpose of a retreat, Monday, September 16th and Tuesday, September 17th at the clubhouse, starting each day at 9 a.m. And the next regular Board of Directors meeting is Wednesday, September 18th, here in the Community Center, 1 o'clock executive session, 2 o'clock open session. All right. All of the votes that were, when I asked for people who hadn't voted, we captured another, I don't know, 10 votes, whatever it was. All of those votes have been tallied and entered. And I will now announce the results of the election. Starting with the candidate receiving the most votes and going down. Receiving, this print could have been a little bigger. I'm getting old. Receiving 586.75 votes, John Bell. I want to say the next results are interim results because it's very, very close. Candidate receiving 471.5 votes is Gene Porter. The candidate receiving 455.5 votes is Thomas Phillips. And receiving 332.75 votes, Benjamin Bro. Now, our requirements as the association are when the vote is that close, it triggers an immediate formal recount. That recount will begin as soon as this meeting adjourns. One of the board members, a board member will reach out to each of the candidates and let them know the results. We'll also send out a LOA e-blast to all the membership later today with the final vote results. That's a plug for signing up for the e-blast. All right, I will entertain a motion from the membership to adjourn the meeting. It's been moved second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.